So here we go. Blake Swafford, Paulding Airport's director. Last year's air show was a kind of introduce the thing, not necessarily a surprise that it might operate, really in the black. This year the goal, of course, was to kind of reach a threshold by a certain point. We had Brent talk to us this morning and say that, it's past that, I guess it's like a 70%. Compare last year's crowd that actually turned out with what you'd be looking for this year, and what that might mean in terms of the success of this air show.
Right.
Understanding too, though, that it's not really an air show to make money per se.
What you're going to see is you're going to see a much more robust air show. Not only from a performer standpoint and from a vendor's standpoint, but just it will be a much better attended air show because of the marketing, because of getting out into the school systems and working with the children and doing the things that they need to do in order to educate the public and get the word out about what we're doing at the air show.
So what kind of numbers did we see last year versus what kind of numbers we'd like to see this year if in fact the marketing has the kind of impact it looks like it could have?
Right. Last year we saw about 4,000 to 5,000. Estimations were in between 4,000 and 5,000 people. And of course it was a one-day show last year. So this year we're looking at a two-day show. So we expect at the very least to see 10,000 this year. So a little more than double what we had last year. Now that is a really conservative number, I believe we'll see 15 to 20,000 people is what I think we will see in the two-day air show this year. So that'll be three, 4, maybe 5 times what the amount of folks that we saw at last year's air show, and a large. Well, almost all of that is due to the marketing effort that we've undergone this year, and of course a lot of it's due to the operational success of the air show last year, because the people who attended the air show last year saw a world-class air show. They saw a very good air show, so that word got out as well.
And how about just compare the first two shows in terms of the vendor side?
The vendor side is going to be night and day. Last year we had, I think, 4 or maybe 5 food vendors, and probably maybe 4 or 5 vendors that were non-food related. This year you'll see probably 7 or 8 food vendors, so not a huge increase in food vendors, but you'll probably see 20 to 25 non-food related vendors. So overall, vendors, you're going to have 5-6 times the amount of vendors that we had last year, and a lot more variety in vendors as to what we had last year.
Okay. And is parking going to run from other locations like it did last year?
It will, and we certainly expect parking to be a little bit bigger issue this year. When you have a bigger crowd, parking is going to be a bigger issue. Fortunately, the parking last year ran extremely smoothly, and we did not fill up our parking lots last year, all the off-site parking lots. So we anticipate the parking really going okay. We think that's one of the things that we did very well last year. Some things we probably didn't do particularly well last year. Parking, we did okay, so we feel like we're going to be okay with parking.
Okay. Blake Swafford, Airport Director, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
For Paulding.com, Richard Grant.